Hey guys, this is Eric Weingartner with Weingartner Racing. It's Saturday, so it's like an update video day. That's what I do every Saturday, so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on. This is beyond the tech stuff. So I'll try to make this one short. Tomorrow, so today's Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be on the chassis dyno with the S10, and we're going to see what power it makes. So if those are unfamiliar with the S10, it's the 406. It's got the Headhunter heads on there. They're raised runner. They flow like 350. I think it's like 9.8 compression ratio, 244, 256 camshaft, 700 lift. And it's got the Holley Sniper Stealth one on there with 8 injectors. I have switched over to E85. I bought a drum of Race E85 so that I can use that for testing. And yeah, so far every time they would take it to the track or anything, it's been on gas, but now it's on E85. So I'm going to do a little tune on that, make sure everything's fine there. And then I'm going to switch to this larger, because it's got a Torque Storm supercharger on it, but it's got the smaller one that I've been using forever on it now. But I'm going to switch to this one. Currently, that small one only makes 5.6 pounds of boost. That's it. So we'll see what it makes with that, and then we'll switch to this. This one's probably going to make considerably more, maybe 15. At which point, looking at my fuel table, I'm going to run out of injector. So there's a good chance I'm probably going to back it down just because I don't have enough injector. So I know that Sniper says it's good to 1250. That's on gas. It's not on E85. So anyway, point is it's going to run out, and we're just going to, it is whatever it is at that point. Which I know you're like, why don't you do the Terminator stuff? I have thought about during the off season, taking apart the engine and then changing pistons, because it's got a lot of blow by, which I'm sure whenever I do the videos, you'll see ton of blow by. As far as I did an oil change, everything's clean underneath. I mean, that part, the bottom end and all that's fine. I just got a lot of blow by. But I'm going to change pistons, and I'm thinking about doing maybe the Terminator and doing port injection, or doing a Dominator and do both. So I'd have injectors both here and then up here too. That's my plan anyway. That'd be great, but that's a lot of money. And I've got a kid that's getting ready to go to college, so I need to save for that. His Nova is nowhere near done either, and these dyno projects are costing it's costing a bunch. So yeah, I don't doubt it that that's even going to happen. So I'm not like, and I love Steve Morris, but they sell a lot of shirts. Cletus sells a lot of shirts and merch, and I don't sell hardly anything. I didn't sell one thing this last week as far as merchandise stuff, and that's what we use for all the dyno testing. So yeah, I just want, any of the money comes from the doing stuff in the shop as far as the actual port work, actual work. So I don't know how that's going to, I'm not going to just blow more money for no reason. But that's tomorrow. But I am going to do this because I'm just cool. No purchase giveaways type of things. I did that last week, or last 2 weeks, and finally have all the winners. So the books are pretty much gone now. But for this one, if you can guess, since the S10 is going to be a chassis dyno, if you can guess the max power it makes at the session, first one to guess, and you can just guess in the comments, just the horsepower. So guess how much horsepower it will make on the chassis dyno. It's got a turbo 400, by the way, and a 4.9-inch out back, 355 gears. First one to guess the correct max power that it makes, don't worry about torque, max power, we'll go from there. Just as a cool thing, you can go back and watch, and I think I did a YouTube short on this many years ago. When the S10 had the 355 in it and it had the shorty headers on there, it made 430, which that's funny because I went to a chassis dyno day. It made 430 to the wheels, and there was guys there showing up with their new Vets and their new Camaros and new Mustangs, and they're putting down like 500, 520, and they're like, haha, laughing at me. No kidding. That day I went to the track for test and tune, and they were there too. I'm like leaving them. So I'm running like 11 threes, and they're to 12 twos. One went 11.9. I was like, yeah, that extra power from your lockup converter on the wheels looks like great and stuff. So that's why I hate the chassis dyno, because their lockup torque converters give them the 1-to-1, so they look great there. And meanwhile, I got like my high stall converter that was slipping to 5,500, and it didn't look good at all. Currently, the stall converter that's in it now is like 4,000, 4,500. But anyway, that's a side point. So there it gives you guys so if you want to win it's going to be the seriously wrong shirt, and as long as you're extra large size, because that's about the only size I have. Just guess the power. First one to guess it correctly, you'll win. There we go. As far as other things happening in the shop, I have been working on porting. These are Trick Flow CNC 190 heads for a small block Mopar. trying to get them done because I feel so bad. So Brian Blessing, you know, I'm so sorry about your plate. I've been borrowing it forever. But I'm just about to finish it hopefully this week. Mopars are similar to small block Chevys, but not quite. Your pinch, which makes no reason why they have it this way, because you run shaft rockers, you could just move the thing over to like a normal person position. But no, they're going to leave it small. I have no idea why. It just should seem like all you'd have to do is put like a shim or something in between just to shoot it. I don't know. Or a different rocker, and the rocker costs the same. It's not like a small block Chevy where we got to have a whole rocker stand. Anyway. Yeah, this was frustrating because I opened up to a larger valve, which it did increase the low lift flow. Peak flow came up actually at 650. It picked up quite a bit as far as peak did. But some spots it was lower and sometimes it was better. A lot of work for almost the same games. Kind of frustrating, I guess you could say. But I didn't even touch the exhaust ports. I thought about it. And yeah, even though they look small, you could actually make them bigger. Like this one, they get the gasket would come all the way down here. It would only look good on the flow bench at low lifts. It would not do anything for power. So I am frustrated with these heads. But that's why I don't do a whole lot of small block Mopars ever. In fact, this is the only one I'll probably ever do. This guy's like, just do the best you think you can. And I think it's going to absolutely make more power. Do I think it's going to make like 100 more power? No. Probably like 20 or 30. But it is what it is. So there's that. Then also, David Vizard. Yes, we have our arguments. Which is no sense in going into, but he still wants to do things to go faster. And I'm not trying to even pump up his channel or say I respect him as a human being. So, and I respect everybody as a human being. I can disagree with you completely on a whole bunch of stuff that you have, but doesn't mean I disrespect you as a human. Like I just don't do that. So for instance, if someone else has a different political view than I do, I don't think they're a worthless POS. I just value them for what they are. I just don't have to agree with them on that issue. So what I'm trying to get at is, even though we disagree on some other things, he's still a person, and I think he still has, you know, some value there. But one of the things he's like, he had watched that video where I put the Dominator adapter on this dual plane for a big block Chevy, and it made considerably more torque and horsepower, and it was a win. So he said, hey, could you try to convert one to a 4500? And we could see how it would be. And I'm trying to figure that out. So we talked like an hour and a half yesterday. I'm trying to figure out how to even do that. Let me explain. It sounds like this would be a piece of cake. You just convert the flange, but just my thoughts. You see this runner here and this runner here? Okay, this is the actual runner exit is actually over here on this part, correct? Which you can see where it's exiting here. Same with this one. Well, if you were to make a Dominator flange, you'd have to weld pretty much all the way across on these squares. And then you'd have to cut out pretty much to where this is, right? Well, as you can tell, you'll be cutting into this runner and into this runner. That's a wall that goes all the way to there. So essentially, you'd be shorting this runner, which isn't a good idea. And this runner, also not a good idea. So I don't know. I got to really think about this to do it correctly. Try to get one modified. The real easy way would be is if you had a CAD and you could draw it up in CAD and just draw it a different way instead of having to do what I'm going to have to do by hand and figure this out. I much prefer, by the way, just putting an adapter on and maybe slightly opening up this and just to see what it would do. But it's just testing. We'll find out. I don't know when I'll ever get to that. Probably he wants it hopefully by the end of the year. We'll see. There's too many other projects. And I hate to be the ones who are like, look, I'm going to do it. We're going to do this. It's so exciting. Can't wait. And then I keep pumping it up. And, you know, there's a bunch of YouTube channels that do this. Like, look, it's coming up soon. It's coming up soon. It's coming up soon. And then it never happens. I don't want to be that guy. So I don't know when I'll get to it. And they're like, well, you've been doing that with this. That's true. I've been just haven't had time. Also, the LS. I think we're going to be on the dyno with that. If it's not this coming week, it'll be the following one. I wish it was this week because I think temperatures are in the 80s. Which are like, oh, this is fantastic for July. Because it was like 102 earlier this week. Anyway, that's what's going on. As far as my son's car, he didn't have any swim meets or nothing. This is how far I've come with it. I put a header on. Just one. Just one. So weeks and weeks and weeks have gone by to get one header tube on. And you might say, why did it take you so long? Well, I had an actual, you can look down there. That's the mid plate. There you go. Yeah, and I had to notch that so it would click around the header. And I don't really have time to work on this because I have to make money to pay for parts for this. As far as the other side, you're like, why don't you get the other one on? Well, that one's actually way more tricky. The steering arm from the rack and pinion is going to intersect that tube there and that tube there. So this one's actually going to be cut up and redone. Yeah. I think I've convinced my wife, though, that if she could come out on Wednesday evenings, we can work on the car together. She hates working on doing any of the things with the cars, but I said it's for the son. And the reason why I don't really work on it, and I feel bad about working on it after 8 o'clock, because usually I'm out here to about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So the idea of just going in to eat real quick and then get right on this car, I don't feel like I spend any time with her or him. And I don't like that. I feel guilty. That's just, I don't want to do that. But if I can get her out here, then I'm gaining the time with her and accomplishing something with the project. You might be asking, well, what about your son? How come he isn't working on it? He swims so much, as you know. And, you know, he wants to spend time with his friends too, which is totally respectable. Because after all, this may be the last year we get to see he lives with us because he'll be going off to college. But it also means this last year he'll get to spend time with his friends. So I do get it. So anyway, that's what's happening. Guess the horsepower and torque, or actually guess just the horsepower on the engine. And if it blows up, I'll let you know. And I'll be disappointed, obviously, but you know, things happen. I don't want it to, obviously, because there's actually a big race right today. So it starts at like midnight at Tulsa Raceway Park, and you have a chance to win a Wally for a no prep thing. And if the truck was tuned at all correctly on E85, I would enter probably 2 classes. They have a real street class, which allows you the 275s. And then I'd also enter with the slicks and get it handed to me. But on the one that's with they call it the daily driver, which I like this, you can't use a trans brake. So you're like, turbo cars will win. I don't know very many turbo cars that spool up without a trans brake. So you actually have a chance of competing. Of course, some nitrous cars will get it. Of course, you're also on a radial. So, and you can't have timing control. There's some other stuff too, which is like, this is an amazing class. I like the idea. The truck might actually do decent, but it's just not ready. I don't want it to ever take out a vehicle I don't want to be testing and tuning during a race. It's a bad idea. But anyway, that's what's going on. Guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate all of you. No, I don't pour cast iron heads. And since I've got no time left, I'm just going to randomly rant for like the next few minutes because things are happening in comments and I'm like, man, this is just enough. So before I cut it off, you're like, I don't want to hear any of what you're saying. Just stop the video. Okay, here's my random rants, and it's about comments. It just infuriates me. So if you're watching this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how not to get deleted from my channel. So most of you may not even know this, but if you're a YouTube producer, like you put out content at all, you have options on what you put out and what you could do with commenters or people that are watch your channel. So for instance, if someone says something inappropriate, you can just delete a comment. I will delete a comment if it has anything political. So if you said the word Trump or you say the word Biden, it's not YouTube getting rid of it, it's me, because I don't want that crap on my stuff. Okay? There are plenty of YouTube actual channels that talk about that nonstop, and that's fine, but just not this one. So I will delete that. But that will not get you banned from my channel. You're just trying to promote your guy, whoever that person may be. And even if I agree with your person, I'm still not going to allow it. I just don't want to. That won't get you banned, but it will get the comment deleted. However, that's not bad to me. I mean, that's just you're just cheering for your team. It's like someone saying Cowboys at the end of every statement, or Chiefs, or Detroit Lions. But what will get you banned is if you do something like this. So if I do a tech video and I show the results in the middle and you go, video starts at so-and-so time, because you want to ignore the entire thing I want to said and just want to see the results. If you ever post that, instantly I'm going to ban you from the channel. Because I went through the time to make the video. Now, you don't have to spend the time to watch it, but don't be the jerk that just says, here's where the results are. All right? Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to be the jerk that says that, and then some other person's going to look at that, start the video there, then want to ask questions in the comments about what was already answered in the video because they didn't watch the whole thing, which actually happened in another comment that came up this morning where someone was about that Hulk manifold had said, I don't know why you can't figure this out. It should have made more power at the higher RPM. When earlier in the video, I had mentioned it was smaller than another manifold that made more power. So it's like they don't watch the whole thing, which again, I get. But if you tell, and that won't get you banned. What gets you banned is when you're like, video starts at X amount of time, so they could just get the results. Banned. Guaranteed. And by the way, you don't even have to disagree. If you disagree with me in a comment, I'm okay with it. But if you disagree with me in a comment, there's a chance I may comment back and say something. You're like, are you just being arrogant? Here's the thing that happened with the internet, and this is me random ranting. Before the internet, and you were just talking with your friends, if you had one of your friends came up and said something stupid, you would look at him like, you're wrong. And you wouldn't have 15 other people that thought this guy is also an idiot. The two of you would just look at it, you just turn at your friend and go, you know what you're saying is completely wrong. I've tested that, that's not true. But on the internet, you could say, no, this is what I heard, even though that person has never tested a thing. This is what I heard, and they will make that comment, and then other people that have heard the same thing, also have never tested, will try to agree with you. When people that have tested will be like, look, dude, you're really wrong. Stop saying this stuff. And they're like, no, it's right. I heard it's from so-and-so, even though they've never tested it. So you can disagree with me on the comments completely. That's fine, because guess what? I've said it in every video, I'm no Superman. And every time people think, you're an arrogant, you think you know everything. No, I think I don't know anything. I'm just showing you the results. Every one of these dyno tests I do, I'm just giving you results. I didn't say they're absolutes. You keep taking them that way, even though you must not watch the whole video, because I say they're not absolutes. But anyway, point I'm trying to make with that is, if you disagree, cool. But understand, I may comment back to say, you're wrong. And not necessarily that you're wrong, but the results don't match what you're saying. Because usually that's what I say. If it's opinion, I'll let you run with it. Whatever. Because if it's something about something I said that's opinion, I'll let you run with it. But if it's something I gave factual evidence for, usually the first statement I'll say is, do you have any evidence to support what you're saying? And usually they'll say, well, so-and-so did this. Do you have any evidence? And if they have evidence, I'm all ears, because I want to hear what that actual evidence is to see if there's something I'm testing wrong or doing wrong that would have verified or disverified it. For instance, in that 750 vacuum secondary thing, so many people said, you have no idea what you're talking about. This carburetor should make more power, blah, 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 blah. I actually had dyno results from the video. You had words you just said out of your mouth. I'm showing actual dyno results. So power that came from the actual carburetor, not from so-and-so's mouth that ran it on YouTube or somebody else's video that you might have watched, okay? Or that was actual testing results. I didn't even say there were absolutes. I said the reason why the 650 made more power is probably because it had wide open throttle. Someone had said you should have looked at your airflow hat, which I didn't print that out, and I should have. Because I guarantee probably what we would have saw is the 750 was actually flowing less than the 650 because its vacuum secondaries weren't putting all the way. Which I mentioned in the video, but people don't watch the whole video, so then they just comment. Anyway, hopefully you get the idea what I'm saying. So if you want to get banned, don't tell a person when to start a video. It's okay to disagree with me, just understand I'm going to comment back. However, if you say something totally stupid, and you want to just go after my character, I'm probably going to ban you. Because I don't need that person in my life. The one good thing about the internet, when there's a fool that's talking, you don't have to, in real life, if you see someone and you meet someone, very rarely do they tell you exactly how they feel about you to your face. It's pretty rare. However, I'll tell you, if I don't like you, I'll tell you right to your face. Because I've said many times to many people, I've said, how about we meet and I'll talk to you. And then I tell them exactly, because I just don't have a filter. And it's probably the wrong way to do a lot of things, but I don't have a filter to deal with that. However, if I disagree with you on the internet, I'll tell you that, but I tell you to your face. Many people will not tell you to your face, but they have no problem saying how they feel on the internet, but never to your face. So if you see someone out in public, you'll never know how they feel. The one good thing about the internet, you know how they feel because they want to put it down. So the good news is you can block them, and then that's part of your life you never have to worry about again. So in real life, you keep seeing a person, and you think that they might be with you in some way, but they're really trying to destroy you. The internet, you can see. So that's one benefit. Anyway, I know I went for a long rant, and some people are already probably commenting about how long this is, and then they're just also complaining that you complained, because that's the other thing. If you complain about me complaining when I told you I'm going to complain, that gets you removed. So there was one guy that every video, he would talk about how you're complaining. Yeah, because I was complaining about things to show you that there's problems so other people are aware of it. But they're like, no, you're just complaining. It's more like I'm giving you a warning. That's why we have to put warnings on everything. Otherwise, you get to make a video about why you didn't understand why this happened. Anyway, yeah. I don't know anybody that even made this last parts anyway. Oh, they're probably commenting now. Hold on. Type, reset, back, edit. He was right. Anyway. Just know I don't usually make these rants this long, but I felt like I was going to try for the 20-minute mark, and I'm 7 seconds away. Guys, I hope you had fun on the 4th of July. Here's a funny story, though. We're in Oklahoma. It's hot as could be. I don't ever remember it actually raining during the 4th of July or having a thunderstorm. It was 4th of July. People were lighting off fireworks, including my neighbor who bought a bunch, which was amazing. And a thunderstorm just started coming through it. And there was lightning with it. People were still lighting off the fireworks during the thunderstorm. It was amazing. And I was actually looking forward to seeing a lightning strike a firework. I really wanted to see that because that'd be cool. But it was quite this scene. Enjoyed every minute of it. Because the best part is when a thunderstorm came in, and some people were lighting off those big old box, like 30 shells things. Several of them, the guy down the streets was a prime example. The wind came in with a thunderstorm, so they lit the box. The box, because of the wind, blew it over. It was just ejecting shells at the neighbor's house. Amazing! Unless it's your own house, then it sucks. But anyway, guys, take care.